This is Ashley Davis, number 12, with women's basketball, and you're listening to Inside the Hive.
Welcome to Inside the Hive. Right now I'm joined with Ruby Lindquist and Xiomara Robinson. How are you guys? Good. All right, you guys just got back from Topeka. How was it down there?
It was good.
Yeah,
kind of cold.
Yeah, pretty cold.
Kind of like this, yeah.
Well, at least it was indoor, correct?
Yes, true.
So it wasn't, I would say, too terrible if you're able to stay inside for a bit.
No.
So there were records broken this weekend, both by you. How does that feel to break a school record? And, not to say someone that, had the school record sitting right next to you.
I mean, it's always nice, to kind of refresh the board, I'd say. Those names have been up there for a while, so it's pretty nice to see that our hard work is, paying off, and we'll be up there for at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say the same. I think the times this year are, there's just a new level for women's sports, and I think it's cool to kind of raise the bar a little bit. That's kind of that's the big thing about it, is you want to do as well as you can with
Right.
what we've got competition wise this year. It's a lot more difficult than previous years, so just kind of hanging as close to them as we can. I think it's yeah.
So can you take us through the races and kind of your mentality and what you thought as far as being an athlete at something like this at Topeka and having some pretty great people to run against, some pretty great competition?
Well, for me, I was pretty nervous before the start of the 5K just because I haven't ran one yet. Well, we had cross country, but it's completely different in my opinion. Personally, the laps kind of started to wear on me, and so I just know it's nice getting the record, but it's nice having a place to start, I guess. But it was really nice seeing a bunch of different faces, getting to run on a bank track in a really nice facility, and getting to just travel with Coach and my two good teammates. So
Yeah, going off of that, I'd say the same. I was really nervous, I think, because I knew what they were going to try to run, especially in the mile, and I'd never run anything close to that. But then Coach, of course, was like, you're going to just go out with him. And I said, oh my gosh. So warming up, I was really nervous. But then once it started, it's you kind of focus and zone into it. And just happened how I didn't expect it to happen, but Coach did. So it was a good race. Both of them, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that. The build up to the event or whatever you're doing, you tend to be really nervous. And even in my experience, not as an athlete, as you can see, not as an athlete, but in other situations, you're really nervous up to the point of start, and then it starts, and all of a sudden, just like you said, you're in the zone. You're concentrating on that. And Zio, I know that you said that the laps were kind of getting to you, but did you experience that as well? You said you were nervous before, but
yeah, as soon as the gun goes off, it kind of just melts away, and you're like, oh, I've done this a million times. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah. Okay.
So you mentioned the bank track. How is that different than running on, say, our track?
Well, we had pretty different experiences. Ruby's going a lot faster than I am, so, I guess you could.
Yeah, I guess for everyone who doesn't know what a bank track is, basically the ends of the track are kind of raised a little bit, so when you go around the corner, it almost feels like you're being pulled, close to the edge, which in the mile, I think it helped a lot. I love running on the bank track, and this one was probably one of the nicer ones I've run on, but I'd say it just kind of encourages the speed a little bit.
Yeah.
It kind of feels faster, and it feels really good. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how else to better describe it.
Well, one thing I noticed is the lean angle. When
That's true.
Someone is running on a flat track like here, they tend to have to lean a lot more into the corner, whereas a bank track, it doesn't seem like that as much because the angle's already there.
Yeah, it's kind of already leaning for you, so it seems like a little less effort to take the corner on a bank track for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had that right.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So going into this weekend, we have the Stinger Open. And what are you guys kind of looking forward to with that?
Well, we're hoping to run our women's distance medley relay and hopefully run a qualifying time for nationals for that. Last year we did here, and hopefully we can repeat that. And that's the goal for this weekend, mostly, I'd say.
Yeah. For sure.
Great. Well, perfect. Well, that's about all the questions I have, except we're going to get into the fun stuff now. So I do this with all of the interviews. One is to get to know you a little bit better as student athletes for our viewers, and also just to kind of see if there's a little bit of anything funny in it, I guess. So the first question is, what is your favorite movie?
What is your favorite movie?
I mean, I guess it depends if I'm in like a thriller mood or a rom-com. That's a really
Favorite movie?
Let's do both. All right, so thriller mood. What would thriller moods Zio pick?
What comes to my head is probably Zodiac by, I don't know who it's by, but it's a really
All
long
right,
movie.
and rom-com?
How to Lose a Guy in
that's
10
what I was
days.
gonna
Why is
say
that
too.
such a popular movie?
It's so good.
Oh my goodness, that's like the third time I've
Yeah.
heard that.
I don't know. I don't have a favorite movie. That's
What's
good
your
enough
favorite
for me.
movie?
Mine is, it's kind of a tie. I'm an old soul guy, so it's going to be Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I don't know if you guys have even heard of that movie. Or Twister.
I don't
like
know.
the tornado movie.
Yeah, what does that look with that?
I see it on
Or the
Netflix, and I'm
tornado
just like,
movie?
Twister.
I
Okay,
haven't seen it.
It is fantastic. The best movie ever. I wanted to be a storm chaser ever since I saw it when I was like 6.
Huh.
But they don't make any money, so I was
Probably
like,
not. Funny.
All right, second question. If you had to describe yourself with one word, what would it be?
Ooh. Maybe stubborn. I don't know.
Stubborn, I can attest to that. It's kind of hard to get you on these interviews, but oh, just kidding.
I don't know. Maybe creative. I like to do
Creative.
a lot of painting and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'd have to say that.
So what medium do you use?
Usually watercolors
Okay.
or, yeah, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
But yeah, that's probably what I would say.
Yeah, acrylic, I could just never get into that.
Acrylic's
I
good
tried
too.
it. It's just
tough.
so hard to get the right color.
Practice. Oh,
Oh, you're good.
yeah, practice makes perfect, sir.
True. Practice. That's what I always preach. And then the last question. I got to make this one a toughie. Let's see. If you had $1 million to spend, but you had to spend it all at once, what would you buy?
I would completely modify my car so I could do anything with it. I could take it everywhere. It would be perfect. It could hold all my things. I wouldn't have to live in a house.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking like campers.
Sort of.
Like
so I could handle like any
camper van?
terrain. No, not a camper van. I need to be able to like get places. Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. What about you?
Honestly, I'd probably buy a bunch of plane tickets out of the country
Oh, okay.
and just go hang out somewhere for a while, like in Europe or something. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's
That makes
probably what
sense.
I would do. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and being on the show. And we really wish you luck this weekend. And, wish you luck in the DMR. And hopefully we get that national qualifying time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And we'll be right back with Coach Medigovich right after this. And welcome back to Inside the Hive. Right now I'm joined with Coach Medigovich. Coach, how are you?
Doing great.
Awesome. So you had some great distance runner action this last weekend with multiple records being set down in Topeka. Can you tell us a little bit about, from the coach's perspective, about how that went?
Yeah, it was, I think, overall an awesome performance. We went down there to get provisionals and school records and all that, and we will achieve most of that for sure, from some just at least personal bests, but to school records and provisionals. When you get all three of those, that's definitely a good outcome. And from both groups we had at Topeka and in Brookings, we definitely had a good showing for sure.
Absolutely. So we already kind of covered a little bit of the records being broken with Zio and Ruby, but I do want to get your perspectives on this next weekend, or this upcoming weekend. We have the Stinger Open, and I was wondering what the team is kind of preparing to do, since this last weekend we were kind of looking for that peak performance from the athletes. Are we kind of looking for the same thing for this weekend?
Yeah, it depends on the athlete I have. Some won't race this weekend just because they'll slowly kind of transition to outdoors. But for some of the athletes, the first evening, Friday night, this Friday, we'll have the DMR. And so that'll be kind of our focus for the first day. And we're trying to get, hopefully, our national qualifier out of the way. We'll have another good squad. UMary will bring down a good squad for us to compete against. And we're hoping that we'll be able to kind of knock out our qualifier before we have to go to conference. We'll have another chance in conference if needed to be, but this will be a good kind of see where we're at. And being the first DMR, sometimes it's not perfect, but they're all in good enough shape, I think, to get it out of the way this weekend. So
perfect. Well, moving on to this, we're kind of approaching the end of the indoor season. What can we expect from the athletes moving forward after even this weekend?
Yeah, so there'll only be a certain amount of athletes qualifying for conference. You have to qualify in the top 18 in our conference. And some events, let's say like the men's 3K, there's already 26 provisional marks. So conference is a very tough thing to make. So most athletes, I have to tell them, especially when they're freshmen, they can have a great season and still not go to conference. So most of the athletes I have will be kind of making a transition to outdoors starting next week. From us in the distance world, the transition might consist of, a day off, and then maybe an easy week of running. An easy week of running for us might be like 60 minutes every day. So maybe 8, 9, 10 miles, just not super fast. And we do that for a course of a week. That's kind of resting for us. And then the next week after that, we're already getting close to March. We'll start gearing up for later March for our first opener outdoors.
Perfect. Well, Coach, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you need to get to practice, so I'll leave it at that, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend, and we'll hopefully be there cheering you on.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, and that'll do it for us from Inside the Hive. Go Yellow Jackets.
This has been a BHSU Athletics production. Fear the Sting.